In the video, he's literally on a knee, like waiting, and I just walk away and then come back.
Welcome to the Created to Be podcast. We're back for another week and have Justin with us. Darius is present.
Aye, aye, Captain.
What? We like to change things up. And we have a special guest with us today, Mary Ashley Culpepper. And she is no stranger to FCA. You've been involved in multiple ways with FCA. And so we'll get to that in a minute. But Mary Ashley has been interning with us here at Mississippi State the past 2 years. And we are sad that
So sad.
she won't be here in the fall. You will be coming back to Mississippi State for some classes, but have some major life change coming up. And that's going to be, we talked about you last week, and we're going to get into that. But anyways, last week we talked about open mic at FCA. So we've officially wrapped up FCA on campus as far as like our weekly meetings and things like that. A lot of coaches and athletes are already out of town, or they're, this is kind of like their break time. So we keep moving with some other things that we have with FCA, but we also kind of have a little bit of downtime before things ramp back up when athletes come back in the summer. There are still some teams competing right now.
Oh, big time stuff.
Yeah.
A lot on the road. I mean, it's postseason for softball, big series for baseball today. Well, it would be, already done by the time this is listened. And then men's tennis, man, back in the Elite Eight.
Wow.
I'm so excited to watch them tonight. I just love this team. And I hate if it's sad if you hadn't had a chance to watch them this year. They're spectacular.
They're playing in Georgia. Yeah. And then track and field are competing at the SECs.
Yep.
So there's
go.
Plenty of things still happening as far as competitions. But anyways, and then we talked about traveler types. So maybe if you saw that on social media, we posted where you could figure out what traveler type you were. We kind of, I feel like based on the conversation, the people at this table might travel well together.
Yes, I believe that.
Yeah.
We would have a good time.
We'd have a good hang.
Good hang.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. We all kind of were in the same type of category.
Right.
So I feel like we all will meet in the middle.
Yeah. I think we'd have a good time.
Brandy seemed a little more adventurous.
Go.
Yeah. She seemed
I was going
like
to say
she
would need one of us to be ready to go.
Yeah.
But there's enough that would be either want to do that or like stay back and rest and hang, just, be chill.
But see, this is the thing. I think with me, if I was surrounded by a lot of adventurous people, it'll make me a little more adventurous.
Yeah.
Like 5 kids, like Brandy.
Exactly. I wasn't going to say that, but since Justin threw the alley, I'm going to go ahead and dunk it. With that many children, you want to keep it adventurous. So
yeah,
I can see that.
I still love it, though, when Abby, our oldest daughter, responded. Like, we were playing with the Morgans out at a place for an FCA leadership meeting, and they were playing like hide and seek, and it was like dark, and they were trying to find good places to hide. And Bethany and Abby was like, "Mom, Dad, they went to the woods." And we were like, "Don't go in the woods." But they just hid in the woods. And it was just like blew her away. And I was like, well, Abby, that's what you do when you're out at places. You go play in the woods as kids.
And she's like, there's ticks out there that'll make you not be able to eat the very things you love the rest of your life if you get bit by those ticks. Which she's true, because we brought it up on the podcast, and Darius was like, I have a friend
that happened to, and just say her me and you has changed.
Yes, that's sad.
I mean, it is.
So,
tough.
Abby's not wrong.
No, she's not.
But yes, the Morgan kids are definitely very adventurous.
They're amazing.
And Abby has already requested that there be like a FCA kid podcast this summer.
Really?
So
okay.
That
would be so fun.
Yeah, that'll be different.
We'll see. I might let Abby just take the reins and do it, and I don't know if we should.
She would
leave them in
definitely
here.
kill it.
Yeah. So we'll see. I was like, it has to have some kind of
kill the podcast.
That's not what I meant.
Not literally.
I
think she would do a great job.
Let's check the listener status after that. So on the last podcast, we also dramatically botched Mary Ashley's wedding location.
Man.
We were all over the place. And Mary Ashley, you listened to it. Can you please tell, if you want the listeners to know where you're actually getting married?
Yeah. So I'm getting married in Phoebe, Mississippi, which is like 20 minutes outside of Starkville. Not very far.
Yeah,
but
that's
not in
nice.
West Point, not in Tupelo, not in Petal, I think was the
Yeah, I think I said that. I knew it started with a P,
yes. Well, actually, interesting. Like, So it's actually spelled Pheba, Fpheba, and I was actually corrected by a local that it's Phoebe.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, nice to know.
Yeah. So which direction?
I think it's west.
Okay.
On like the highway, keep going west, like past Pine Lake.
Oh,
kind of.
Okay.
It might be a little south too.
Okay.
Southwest maybe.
Southwest. Okay. Well,
it's in middle of nowhere. So.
Yeah, join the club. We were in French camp.
Yeah.
And we love French camp.
Further though, that was like a 45-something minute drive. Yeah.
It's really pretty though.
Well, we're looking forward to being there.
Yes.
In
so
Phoebe.
Excited.
Not
Yes.
Tupelo, not Pedal.
I wonder how did you feel hearing us just boldly and wrongly
Y'all are so
pronounce.
confident.
We was so confident, and I'm like, and I knew, I'm like, no, that
We
is
all
not
knew we were
it.
wrong.
Like, yeah, I'm like this. But I settled because I said, well, maybe I've been wrong so much on this show. Who am I to fight back? Like, I said, let me just sit in it. And then to hear you say Phoebe, I'm like, I wonder how she felt.
I was just shaking my head and smiling and laughing.
You said you were cringing.
Well, did I say that?
Look, we're so excited to come to the wrong place.
I just wanted to help y'all out so bad, and I just couldn't.
And you couldn't. It was out there.
I was just smiling and laughing and enraged.
Hey,
funny.
we came to Pedal, and I don't see anybody out here. Where is everybody?
Yeah,
That's also a lot farther to drive.
Yeah.
Exactly,
To travel.
yeah.
So
Yeah, very nice.
doing y'all a favor.
Very kind of you to plan it so close by. What are some of the things that you heard on the podcast last time that you wanted to comment on? Do you remember anything about vacations or traveler
yes.
types?
I was telling Bethany that I really appreciated the quiz thing that she was doing because I felt like I was learning also about myself and just I've never like really thought about what my ideal vacation would look like.
Who are you? What do you think?
I don't know. It really just depends on like I guess the season and just the mood that I'm in. Like if I want to, when I think of like the word vacation, I truly think of like relaxing on the beach or like just something very leisurely. But I am a planner still, and so I'm gonna have a little bit of an itinerary. But I also was with y'all when y'all were talking about how you can have an itinerary, but like it's okay if it changes.
Yeah.
Like let's be flexible. We're on vacation.
Yeah.
You know. But then I was also telling Bethany that my family, I grew up going to Disney World. Like that is our family vacation.
Gotcha.
And so, but to me, Disney World is not a leisurely vacation at all.
That
Like
doesn't sound like rest.
That's a workout. You walk in 10 miles a day, so you're not relaxing on the beach.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been?
You never
I
been to
have
Disney
never
World?
been to Disney World.
And efficiency is required at
Yes.
Disney. You got
There
to
is,
get to these
you
places.
have an itinerary and you stick to that itinerary.
Yeah.
And like because there is so much to do in Disney World in a day.
So you
And
saying if you don't have an itinerary, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. Just
yeah, or
because
you're
there's
just gonna-
also
you're going to be hanging out in lines too long or just in
you have
general.
to plan out because they also do the fast pass. I don't even know if it's called fast pass anymore, but you have to plan that your fast pass is around what you're doing that day.
Gotcha.
And like it's
The whole thing.
see, I
It's
had
a
an
whole
opportunity to go to Disney World and I declined, and so now I feel
you need to experience that, Darius.
I really feel bad.
You and Santana would have a blast.
I agree.
If you ever wanted to train for a race, they have amazing races in Disney. It's
My
very
dad's done
magical.
an Ironman there
like,
before.
yeah, like a half marathon.
Oh, okay. For me to get in,
I mean, you don't get to go to the park, but I mean, if
I'm
you
saying
want
for me to participate.
I mean, to show off
Yeah,
your
anybody.
athleticism, that
Yeah.
would be
No.
really a great
I
challenge.
I was about to plug in some, but I'll wait. We were talking about vacation. Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that Mary Ashley told me though is that she also could identify with the feeling of I can do anything after watching the show on Cinderella's Castle. So I was
Yes.
like, thank you for
I
validating me.
Yes. I actually was telling her that it is actually amazing the production that Disney executes not only just at the castle, but in every single
Everything.
part. Like every night there's probably something going on. I think Animal Kingdom usually shuts down a little earlier because it's more of like for the animals and stuff. Like that's where a lot of that is. But like Epcot, Hollywood Studios, like Magic Kingdom, most every night there is a fireworks show going on or a light show or something. And I actually looked up. I knew
How
they
much it
spent a
costs.
lot of money, but just on like the Magic Kingdom, I think it's Happily Ever After something, $50,000 for one night. Like, and that's an estimate. You know, Google was saying that there's not really a thing where you're like, this is the exact amount that they use. But an estimate is $50,000 for one fireworks show at one park for one night.
That is.
And they do it every night.
Every single night.
When they close.
Every single night.
And you said Tinkerbell still flies in.
Tinkerbell still flies.
Yeah.
And it's the most amazing thing ever.
It is.
And now when you stand on the Main Street USA, the lights are on the buildings down the street too.
Wow.
So they've even like expanded.
Whoa.
It's not only just on the castle now. Like
Goodness.
it is insane. I told Bethany I feel like I could run through a wall after I watched
you
that
get
because
very
it's
inspired.
amazing.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that with this podcast, we hope that it makes you feel like when you're listening that you're like, oh, I want to say something about that. And so feel free to submit those comments. In the show notes, there's a place where it says leave us a comment and you can click there, or you can just email us at MississippiStateFCA@gmail.com. Now we have the social media page for the Created to Be podcast. And so you can follow us there. And then you can also comment there if you want to. But anyways, that's how we hope that it feels, is like, even if you're not a guest on the show, that you're listening to the conversation and you want to kind of add to it. And then hopefully we can add those comments to the following show. So we want it to feel like the conversation is just bigger than the four of us. So I appreciated that Mary Ashley felt that way, because that's what we hope that this podcast makes everybody feel like when they're listening. So that was encouraging. All right. So today we're going to talk about something that is often, I don't know if it's on guys' minds in the spring, but there's a saying, ring by spring. I don't know if that's still a thing. It is? Okay, Mary Ashley is shaking her head. Do you know what this is?
No.
Ring by spring?
No.
I mean, it makes sense. You're being proposed to or engaged by the
by
spring.
that time. That's what I was.
Do you have anything else to add to
Never
that,
heard
Mary
of
Ashley?
that, though.
Me either.
You have until now?
Until now.
Are you
Until now.
serious?
I mean, I've slept a lot since, but like I don't think so.
I was today years old when I heard
I don't
Ring
remember
by
that.
spring.
I have one specific professor, I'm a social work major, and she loves that saying. Like, she reminds us all the time. She's like, go out to the drill field. Y'all need a ring.
Oh, my God.
And we're just shaking our heads.
I mean, I've heard
like,
an MRS degree, things like that, but I haven't heard ring by
Have you heard
spring.
your MRS degree?
Not at all.
Not at all. So it is like, really, it's a thing that girls I know think about. Like,
I personally never thought about it.
Yeah, I
but
didn't either.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But just like part of being in college, I guess because spring weather is like everything's new and like, you know.
It was a
with
ring by
plans-
winter for you, though.
Yeah.
January.
Yeah, it was. And we're going to get into engagement stories here in a minute and we'll hear that story. But anyway.
Oh.
So it's May. So we're technically still in the spring. So we're going to talk about this whole thing about weddings and getting married, because Mary Ashley is here and she's about to do that in July, and we have our own engagement stories. But before we get into all of that, I just wanted to first get a little bit of Mary Ashley's story so that y'all could get to know her. So Mary Ashley, whatever you want to share, like where you grew up, when you gave your life to the Lord, like how you got involved with FCA, you played soccer in junior college, so anything you really want to say. And then if y'all want to ask any questions, we can chime in. But anyway.
Yeah. So I'm from Meridian, Mississippi. I grew up in an incredible family. I love my parents. I have two brothers. I'm the oldest. I have a younger brother. His name is Cal. He is 22 in October, maybe. Because we're about 2 years apart. He's playing baseball he went to Southern Miss out of high school, and then now he's playing baseball at Pearl River Community College. And then Cade is a senior in high school. He plays baseball, also going to Pearl River. And then I have a little sister named Ellie Ruth. We adopted her from India I think October will be about 6 years. So, yeah. But I grew up in a just awesome family. My parents loved the Lord. They discipled us really to just know the Lord and to serve the Lord just in our daily lives, just to truly just try to cultivate a true, genuine relationship with Him. And I'm just so appreciative of that, because they truly just set the great groundwork for us spiritually. So I I know I was saved when I was 8 years old, but I was really young, got baptized, all the things. But I probably wouldn't say that I made the Lord, like the true Lord of my life, until about 2 or 3 years ago, coming out of JUCO. Like Bethany said, I played soccer for 2 years at Meridian Community College, and just the transition from there to Mississippi State, really, the Lord really opened my eyes and was like, you're not truly living for me. You're not truly, like it's just not a genuine just love quite yet, you know? And so he called me to that, and it's just been I've been different ever since. But yeah.
And your involvement, did y'all have FCA in high school?
Yes. So I probably started to be involved with FCA in 8th grade of my high school, or 8th grade is not high school. But like my 8th grade year, I really kind of put myself into FCA, which FCA is also, I say it a lot, it kind of runs in my veins. I would say my dad got saved also through FCA. When he was younger, he was very involved with FCA. He went to the FCA camp that's in North Carolina.
Come on. Yeah, he went to Black Mountain.
Black Mountain.
Or coaches camp, team camp.
I want to say that I could be wrong, but I think that's where he got saved.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it boys camp? It was just boys camp, or was it when he was a coach?
No, he wasn't a coach. He was an athlete.
Like as an athlete.
One of his coaches took him to the camp.
See.
Very
cool.
Yeah. And so,
because really, for a time, there was only like a few camps in the country. Yeah. Like it's exploded now. There's camps all over. Yeah. But that was one that was like,
and my dad is like the best camp that he's ever, like,
that's awesome.
I actually had the opportunity to go there, but it just didn't work out. He was like, you have got to figure out how to go to that camp. But it just didn't work out. Started in 8th grade. I think around my 9th, 10th grade year, I became like the president because the dynamic of FCA in high school is completely different from even JUCO to this, you know? And so in high school, the dynamic is we have an area director. At one point it was Jonathan Fulcher, and then it transitioned to Dalton Smith. And they did an incredible job, but they're also covering like a lot 3 different schools. The community college also.
Yeah.
So at school, you had your president and like your vice president who were the because it's more it's 100% student led in high school. So we had that, and then we just kind of had a supervisor, which was a teacher, just to kind of not facilitate, but just he was kind of the go-to on campus if we needed anything. And we would meet every Thursday morning at around 7:15 or so. So that's kind of where my journey with FCA started. And throughout high school, I was going to FCA camp. I think between being a camper and a leader, I went to FCA camp at Belhaven. Belhaven. I get Belmont and Belhaven sometimes confused. Yeah. I probably went around 7 or 8 times. I swear by that camp.
What was your first year that you went to FCA camp? What year would that have been?
I think it was my 8th grade year. I was going to be a freshman.
I'm like, do the math. What's the math on that?
I don't think we were here.
That's what I was wondering. Because when we were at Mississippi College, we would work that camp sometimes.
2016.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah, that was probably
just before, like, because that would have been 10 years ago, and you're not.
Yeah,
that would have been, you'd been younger, but it was close.
It was close because this year's 6 years out of high school, so that probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
Crazy. So many camp stories. That's maybe what we should do one episode on, is just talk about FCA camp stories, because we've got several.
Lots of them.
I know. We could probably patch somebody in for that.
Get Mark and Chrissy Boren on.
Oh, gosh.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but
it's always a good time at camp too. But anyway, so FCA, you've been involved high school, middle school, high school, community college, Mississippi State. What are some things that you've seen in these different places that are different, unique? What, I don't know what you might want to say about that.
Yeah. I mean, probably the thing that sticks out the most is just, like I said, the dynamic of how it works, and just how, even though they work so differently, or they are so different, they still work so well.
Yeah.
I guess, like, just the dynamic of, in high school, we kind of had our FCA huddle on Thursday mornings, but then when I got to community college, the leadership team were really the ones that were you were responsible for leading your team huddle. So once a week, if you're on the lead team, you were leading a devotion with your team. Yes. Either whenever that could happen, either before a game, after practice, before practice. So that was kind of your responsibility there. And I enjoyed that. I thought it was great when we still had our huddles. I think at MCC we had them on Monday nights. And so that was still a time for everybody all sports to come together. But then when you're leading a team huddle, it makes you more personable with your team.
Yeah.
And they're actually able to hear what the Lord's doing in your life, and you're like directly encouraging your teammates, which was really like cool. And then here, like, it's just, it's very different here. Just with the dynamic of just being at a school at this, level. To this degree. Yeah. At this level. There's a lot of things I did at MCC that I can't do here, you know, just logistically, legally, you know, and so, but I've enjoyed this just as much.
I do love about FCA that you can take some of the components that are similar and put them in a different environment, and like you kind of got to work them out. Like you got to kind of figure out how they work in your environment, but like it just works.
Yes.
Like when people get together and then they get to share their passion for the Lord, passion for sport, and then you have some people, you know, you got to kind of identify who's going to like lead and keep this thing consistent and just being faithful every week to continue to meet, continue to make decisions to move things forward. And once you identify those people and how the structure kind of work, like the components of it, it will bring something about, but the expression looks different.
Yeah, because it is consistent. High school, like we're all athletes, and we need to separate ourselves from just the pressure of our sport. And like at the end of the day, our sport isn't our identity. Our identity is in the Lord, and so FCA will always be that outlet, no matter which level. We're at. It just might look a little different.
Yeah.
Right. We, as athletes, you know, we need that outlet to be able to realize we are more than just an athlete. So I get it.
Yeah. Darius gets it. He can identify. One thing that Justin and I have talked about, though, is that this space is very unique in that, Mary Ashley, you were talking about how you would, you know, do like the devotion or chapel or something for your team. And what makes that unique is that you spent a lot of life with them where they would actually see you being pressed, like in conditioning or in practice, how you responded to authority. And it just doesn't seem like there's really another space in life, honestly, besides probably marriage, where you see so much coming, like where someone is pushed to a brink of what's their character going to be like when this hits the fan or that hits the fan. There's really not another environment. So you have this, like you're trying to be a leader, but then your character is also tested in this same space. You know, if you're nothing against leading small groups at a church or whatever, but you're living your life apart from those people, and you might have a close circle that knows more of what's going on, but you can come in and lead a group well, but those people not know other aspects of your life. And that's one thing that's really unique about that space as a leader. That's very challenging though too, because I mean, I remember whenever we're going to get in engagement stories here in a little bit, but like even when Justin and I first hung out, the environment where we were going to sit down and hang out, I was like, oh my goodness, my teammates know I'm a believer, and it's only been a few months into school and I'm a freshman, and they already have this perspective of me. And so if I go and I sit in this place, what is that going to mean? Are they still going to take me serious or not? You know? And so thankfully I had peace about it. So I went. And so that's where Justin and I first got to talk, and then we started dating after that. So good decision maybe on my part.
Yeah. So the context was whether Bethany could go to a pub/bar. And the premise was we were watching my roommate play.
Yeah, guitar and sing.
Yeah, and he was really good. And I thought a lot of people would show up, and nobody did. But Bethany did.
And, of course, we weren't going to drink. But, like, just being in that environment, I did see one football player, and I did kind of get, like, because I just knew that he vaguely knew who I was. But I wanted to get your comments on that, Justin. Just that dynamic of people being in that environment, how unique it is to be in this space as an athlete, to where you're mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, you're being pushed, and then you're also being asked to lead in that environment. I think it can be really impactful. It can also be detrimental, but it can also be super impactful because people actually get to see the consistency of someone's life.
Oh yeah, I mean they're going to see what comes out when you get squeezed, and you're going to see what comes out of you when you get squeezed. And so it's like it's definitely a tension. It makes you think about who you really are and whose you are and what you're really doing out there. And, you know, and you're facing that every single day, but it also, it's freeing because you're like, man, I know why I'm here. I mean, if you could step into that and realize I'm not here to please anybody.
Right.
I'm here to be a great teammate and support everybody around me and do the very best I can with what God's given me.
Yeah.
And so when you get freed up in those spaces, it's not as big of a deal, but there are many moments I go back to where I'm like, oh, I would have been a better teammate if I would have done this or done this. And so, but it's cool to see, especially guys and girls now walk through the environments with the increased social media pressure, with the increase of, for some of the bigger sports, funds and investment of fans, for them to be steady and to walk through all the things that are coming at them and just to be above the noise and play in freedom, it's fun to watch.
Yeah. And also, I mean, and this is for time's sake, we won't get into this today, but I do think that if you are that kind of leader that is trying to be consistent, you'll learn real quick that you're going to have to be humble. Like, because there's going to be days where you don't have your best days. No. And I think I learned humility in a way that I could not have learned it any other way, when you're just essentially you're exposed like all the time. You cannot keep it together on your own strength, like every single day.
I'm sorry is a good phrase.
Right. You're gonna learn that real quick.
My bad. That's on me. Like, own it.
Right.
And
I think it's that layer of stepping up to be a leader. If you remove that dynamic, then you might not really, face that. But whenever you have to step in and be a leader, then you're like, now I've got this on my hands where if this goes bad, I'm going to have to answer for it. So were you going to say something, Darius?
Well, yeah, because I just think in just as the places I'm leading and thinking about what you all are saying, I think sometimes we place that emphasis on being perfect over just being postured. Yeah. I believe that great leadership is doing the right thing all the time, even if it's I'm sorry.
Right, the right thing.
Right. And I'm saying sometimes, but we don't focus on that aspect. We focus on the performance piece,
right?
Where I got to always be, man, if this happens, what about? But it's like, because we know life is going to sports is going to present us up and downs. The best thing is to focus on the posture aspect. Right. What is the right thing to do in this moment?
That's good.
And outside of the result,
right?
I messed up.
Right.
Man, I didn't do it right. It wasn't my best day. But it's, and because I think people gravitate to the authenticity or the honest piece.
Right.
But when we just, like people that's trying to perform, because it's almost like you put that pressure on yourself to the point where if you're not careful, it'll encourage you to continue to go in that aspect of performance, that when you do have that breakdown moment, you can lose a lot.
Right.
Like a lot of influence. You can lose. It's kind of like you're talking about what you're made of. People can really see when you're squeezed in a place where the real you have to come forth. It's like, oh, you've been doing a lot of,
Honesty produces stability. And I feel like that's when you step in as a leader, and then even as a spiritual leader or a captain on a team of some way, the more honest you are, the more stable you are. That's why you're in that position.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that leadership position is a popularity position. This is something like, oh, they got the most votes, the most popular. No, I mean, if the culture is right, you're in that position not for popularity reasons, and you're just not going to make popular decisions. Right. You're there because you're stable. And no matter what storms come, you're going to be stable and you're not going to be moved. Your effort and your attitude is going to remain the same, and you're going to call people higher into that space and lead that way. And so that's why you're there. So be that.
I love what you're saying, Darius, too, because there's no way to predict what life is going to throw. I mean, that's true for anybody.
Right.
But in this space, you can't predict if a coach is going to go off on me today, if I'm going to rub off on a teammate the wrong way, or vice versa. Like, you can't predict all that. And that's really stressful to live at that space where you're trying to predict all of that and then predetermine, I'll respond like that. Like, you don't have to play that game if you live in humility and honesty. You can just be like, dude, if I screw up, I'm just going to own it.
Yeah.
And it does take all that pressure off.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I think is unique about that space. And the athletes hopefully are realizing, if they are leaders and if they haven't already, that is what that space is going to do. Like, once you step into leadership, it's going to put you in that where you have to own up to things. And that authenticity is really the most powerful thing. And it's the best for you in your formation, but also really helpful for your teammates. And then you don't have to keep up this like show the whole time, or this facade or whatever. And
there's just not many environments where you can really get that growth that quickly.
Right.
It is exponential quickly in the fire of being an athlete on a team, or and then living out your faith in that space. The rawness comes out and you grow quick.
Yeah. Yep. Which I think, and this is not like a shot at anybody that isn't an athlete or hasn't had that experience. But I do think there is, like, you can kind of get to know, even if the person is not currently, like those of us sitting at the table that are beyond Mary Ashley's age, we're not in athletics anymore, but like your brain is formed and developed in a certain way that whenever you meet someone else that has had that same experience, you're like, oh man, you get me. And I think I've never really connected it to what you just said, but I do think some of it is because that experience is so unique and how quickly those things happen and are formed and shaped that I can't think of, seriously, besides marriage, what can mimic that level of like pressure and exposure and all that than the athletic experience. So you have some. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think marriage, but then I also think ministry.
Yeah.
Like people that work ministry
together.
Yes. Because it's like you said, those moments are going to come. You have a situation that, like, I'm just using me as an example. I'm a youth pastor, but then I have a situation come up with one of my young people that doesn't look like religion, church, doesn't detail the posture or the behavior of a Christian, and I have to, quote unquote, deal with that. Or if me and Santana is in front of them and we having a disagreement, and I show forth a level of just rawness, realness, but it doesn't speak to them what I've been teaching. It's kind of one of those things.
Right.
In those moments, I gotta be, hey, I didn't handle that well. That wasn't you. And I'm saying, and I was talking on my way here, and I was saying this because generations are different. And I know you was talking about us being older than MA, but one of the things I thought about was, there's a generation now that you really have to communicate certain things with them, where my generation and the generation coming up before, we didn't have to have that. Like, it's kind of like you do what I say and that's it.
Right.
But the generations now is a little more of, okay, why?
Right. Explanation.
And I got to, right. And I'm saying where I have to kind of unplug from, because it's like, I don't want to miss them, or I don't want to miss out on that level of influence. And I'm learning leadership is not just telling, but helping explain and giving them. Because it's like this. I don't want you to just mimic what I do. If you don't do what I do, our decisions, though, should come from somewhat the same place.
Sure.
Or we going toward the same place. We don't have to do the same things, but you should be able to tell about that level of connection, you know? And so that's why I say I'm not trying to plug in that ministry, but I mean, but it's still somewhat the same, because you're going to have authentic moments that's going to reveal, are you a manifestation of your message? Like, are you really? You know, it's easy to look like Jesus when everything is good.
Right.
But what about when you meet that woman at the well, or that Good Samaritan situation? Like, what do you look like then? Or when you're being persecuted, or when Judas betrayed you, you know, like, what do you look like? And so that's why I begin to just think about some of those different, and sports, it gives us that, because it's a level of camaraderie, community, you know, commitment to being together. And so
adversity.
Yeah, adversity, all of those different things.
The word of athletics right there.
Yeah, adversity.
Adversity. Every interview.
Yeah. But I'm going to have to think more about that, as we didn't even mean to get into this topic today, but I'm going to have to think a little bit more about that, like the level of formation that also, like, there has to be a certain level of exposure. Like the environment has to produce that kind of like rawness. And so I'm going to think more about that. We might have to come back to that topic. All right. So we're going to transition. And this does kind of connect, because marriage does do this to you, where now, Mary Ashley, we were talking yesterday, and I was telling you about, like, whenever you're engaged, you're not married, if you're, not living together, then you're not seeing this person's habits. But then once you get married, and now it's like you might have met for a date before and then gone your own way, but now, you come home and you eat. What does the husband, if he was single, what would he typically do with that time after dinner? And you do after dinner, but now the expectations probably change. Like, we should go on a walk together. We should talk. And if this person has these habits that they have not been doing that, and it didn't necessitate that before, now you're like merging these two things together, and it can cause frustration and all that. So marriage will do that naturally. It will be an environment that exposes all these things. But we're not going to talk about all that today, but it does connect with what we're talking about. So engagement stories. We want to know, how did Jacob propose to you? Because you have quite the story. And then we'll go around the table, because I don't know if you've shared we might have shared on another episode some engagement stories, but we want to hear it again. Okay, go ahead.
So ironically, we were in Disney World when it happened. So I guess it happened into June last year. So we're going on a year. I was in Disney World about a year ago. So leading up to Disney World, I'm a very type A person. I can go between.
You can be flexible.
Yes, I can be flexible, but I do like to plan. I like to know what's going to happen. And in my mind, I'm like, I live in Meridian. He lives in Tupelo. That's a 2.5 hour, distance, and I'm like, I just would hate for Jacob to have to plan something, for all of our families to be there without me helping him. Or I'm sure my mom would have helped or whatever, but this is going through my mind of how is he going to execute this? And so then we're going to Disney World, and I'm like, wait, that would be perfect. And so that's kind of in my mind, I'm like, this would be the most ideal situation, And so, but as we're leading up to it, I'm kind of start gaslighting myself a little bit. I'm like, he's not, because I don't want to ruin the surprise. I don't want to be so sold on it. And then when it does happen, I'm like, oh, whatever. But anyways, I would have been surprised. So leading up to it, I'm starting to maybe.
You were kind of thinking about it.
Yes, I was thinking about it, but I was trying not to think about it too much because I want to be surprised. But we get there, first day we're in Magic Kingdom. That's Darius. That's their biggest park, where Cinderella's castle is, all the things. Okay. And I'm like, the most ideal thing would be that he proposes in Magic Kingdom and it's our first day. He's not going to carry the ring around for 5 days while we're there. But
you are
right. I'd rather it be me than him, I guess.
Isn't there a saying about that though too? Something about burn a hole in his pocket. Isn't that something that guys talk about?
He stays in there, man. It's gonna burn a hole in your pocket. You got to get out of there quick.
Have you heard that too?
I haven't.
No. Okay.
Because everything is. I want everybody that's listening to know I'm learning just like you all are. If you haven't heard it, I'm learning with you all.
Well, so it was not burning a hole in his pocket. It was burning a hole in his mama's purse because I think she carried it around for 3 days.
Wow.
Because she was just waiting on him. Because Jacob is also does not want to be in the spotlight. And I think the plan, because she did have the ring in her purse first day at Magic Kingdom. But I think he got there and was like, this is way too many people. I cannot do this in front of, because that's where everybody's congregating, is in front of the castle.
Gotcha.
And so it didn't work out then. And so when it didn't work out the day at Magic Kingdom, I kind of was just like, okay, that's fine. It's just not going to happen here. So we're 3 days into vacation, and we are, so obviously I don't know about this, but it didn't work out Magic Kingdom. So everybody's trying to figure out when's the next time we can do it. And so Disney World has this place called Disney Springs, and it used to be called Downtown Disney, or either it's vice versa. And it's just kind of where you go and shop, and there's just restaurants.
You don't have to pay or anything. It's not like an admission fee. It's just restaurants and shops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very nice. I said that
nice.
so casually.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, because when you said, I'm like, you just, everybody go in there and just eat free. But it's like, no. It's like going into the building and then everything got you.
It's just a downtown atmosphere. Okay. You just walk around, shop, and eat. And so apparently he planned to do it that night, because usually when you're going to the parks, you're in your athletic clothes, tennis shoes, all the things, because you're walking, like I said, you walk about 10 miles a day in a park. But in Downtown Disney, you're usually dressing up because you have a reservation to go eat and stuff. And so the plan B was for him to do it in Downtown Disney when we're all dressed up. I have makeup on, all the things. Not that I cared to have makeup on when, I didn't care.
He told you what kind of nail polish.
Yes, he did.
Before all this too, right?
Yeah, before we even got to Disney World.
That kind of tipped you off a little bit.
Yes, it did a little bit. But I try not to think
about
it too much.
How did you know what color?
No, he told me to get Funny Bunny and Bubble Bath. I was like, how do you know about that? That's funny? A really popular combination for girls to get. But I was kind of teasing him, what if I just got yellow or blue? And he was like, please don't. So I was a little bit whatever.
For pictures.
Yes.
Once she got the ring on.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, so plan was to do it in Downtown Disney, and him and my dad and my brothers and his brother-in-law go so we're staying at a place called Shades of Green. It's like their Disney's military resort, and they have a really nice golf course. So they were all golfing, and the match went to a tiebreaker, and they were not going to leave without having a winner. And so that postponed.
Typical guys.
Yes. Jacob jokes, he was like, I could not let her brothers beat me. And so that negated plan B. Plan B for him to do it, because they got back and they literally had like 20 minutes to get ready before we had to be where we needed to be. So it didn't happen then. So plan C. We're to plan C now. So it didn't happen that night. And the next morning, we're going to Hollywood Studios. And me, my dad, and my sister are already on the bus waiting to go to the park. And my brother comes down. He's like, y'all need to come back up here. Cade is one of my brothers. He's like, Cade needs y'all. And I'm like, I am not walking all the way back up there. Cade is fine. Like, everybody's up there. Tell mom to help him or something. He's like, okay. And then somebody else called and was like, please, can y'all come back up here? We really need y'all for something. And so me, Ellie, Ruth, and Dad get off the bus, and we go back up to the lobby. And Shades of Green has this, my family was on a balcony, and then Cal, one of my brothers, took me down to the, it was like a grassy area, and it was really pretty. And Jacob was sitting there waiting on me. I was like, oh, it's happening. And they were all on the balcony just watching. But it was at like 7:15 in the morning. I had a Red Bull in my hand and my fanny pack on around my waist. And he got down on his knee and asked me to marry him. And I didn't say anything. I turned around and went and put my Red Bull on the ground, and then came back and was like, yes, I would love to marry you.
That's awesome. It'd be cool if you just threw it down.
I know. In the video.
Heck yes, I am.
In the video, he's literally on a knee, like waiting, and I just walk away and then come back. But it was so like appropriate. I don't require anything just extravagant. I'm so happy the way that it worked out. And
at least he didn't do it in front of the Tower of Terror. You mentioned Hollywood Studios. I went, oh well.
No, it was before that. But
people in the background.
He probably would not. That's actually his least favorite ride at Disney World.
I hate that ride.
I don't even think he wrote it. So
Justin told me, it only drops like 3 times or something. On like drop 5, I'm yelling at him, and then I'm like, I thought you said.
I said they changed it up.
Yeah, every time it always feels different.
Wow.
But yeah, it was. I have a ring on my finger, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But I think, bless his heart, it was stressful for those first few days because he wanted to get it done, but he didn't know when or how, or so.
Yeah.
But it was sweet.
Did you have any hiccups in your plan, Darius?
No, I'm Brown, Darius Brown. It's like Bun, James Bun. Because women have this women intuition thing, and I'm just listening to Mary Ashley, and I'm like, sometimes
we just know.
Well, this is the thing that bothers me sometimes.
It tries to mess it up
because it's right. Because it's like, just let it happen. We can't do what we want to do because you're trying to figure it out. I'm like, just chill.
We can't help it.
So I knew. So now I'm gonna say this. Funny story, while me and Santana, when we first started dating, I used to tell all the time, I'm not trying to get married. Like I would say that, but it was really because I had commitment issues. Like I just was really scared of commitment. Because most of my teenage years to my early 20s, I really didn't have a girlfriend. I had in my whole life, I had 3 girlfriends. But it was because I could get them. I just didn't like to commit because I just wanted to be, I didn't want to say be a player, but I just like to talk to who I wanted to talk to and don't have to feel like I didn't like to break nobody's heart. So I just wouldn't commit. So even when me and Santana started dating, I was only dating her. I wasn't cheating, but it's just like to get married was scary. Like, marriage?
Marriage? Wait, sorry, isn't that from Princess Bride or something?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Marriage.
So I would literally be terrified. So one day, my boss, who is my pastor now, I was literally sleeping over his house one time. And so he was like, bro, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. He was like, you got a home. And I'm like, where? And so, Santana by this time was already out. Like Santana, and I just feel like this, women just mature a little quicker. Like, y'all know what y'all want to do. With us, it takes a little time.
We're going to have her on the pod one day,
and so
people can understand, because you talk about her.
Yeah, so he just talked to me, and this is one question, I'm telling you, it changed everything. He was like, are you trying to marry this girl or not? Like, what are you doing? Because he was like, she's a wife, and he was one. He's always been a realist, you know. And then, you know, he seen people marry people and it wasn't good. So he's like, man, you got a great one. What are you doing? You're gonna miss out. Because he was like, she's not gonna wait. She's not gonna continue waiting. So he said it. So he was like, are you gonna marry her? I'm like, I mean, eventually, but I need to do X, Y, and Z. And then he says, well, let me ask you this. How would you feel if you saw her marry somebody else? And I was sitting there, look, and I started getting mad. Like, just at the thought, I said, man, now look. So I went and tried to go get a ring the same day. It was closed. The place was closed. I literally got up the next morning. I'm up like 7 o'clock because now my mindset is, no, I can't. I don't want to give no more time to the potential opportunity of something happening. So I get some ring. So I had the ring, I know, by like 3 months, because I'm trying to figure out how to propose. And so the only thing I could think about to get all of our family together, because see, that's the thing. When families start getting together, everybody starts to, hold on, now you started scanning the room, something's about to happen.
Right.
So this is what I did. The place I was working, I had only been working there like 7 months. So I look.
Sorry.
Bethany. Look, so what I ended up doing is I said, I'm going to get them, I'm going to make it like they're throwing me an appreciation dinner.
He made it about himself.
Yes. I mean, I made it about me. Like, they're throwing me appreciation dinner, but I had her, this is how we worked it. I had her to make it like they were surprising me. So
it's pretty good work.
I told them, listen, do a dinner like you're appreciating me. It's really an engagement, but act like it's a surprise and get her in on it. So she was getting her mom and my people. So I'm literally blindfolded in the car on the way to the event. And so when I walk in, I'm acting all surprised, like, what you doing here? Like, I'm really
playing
selling it.
Wow.
And so I'm selling it. I'm giving it all I got. And so I'm acting shocked. And so they get up. Of course, they have different people to talk about me since I've been working, how good I've been doing. And we appreciate him coming on and being a part of the team. And they let my parents speak, different ones. So people literally getting up. We always knew he was going to do something great. And they was like, we're going to let him have words. So I get up just acting like I'm just like without words. I'm just acting shocked. And then I'm like, but I'm glad. And I'm like, Santana, will you stand up? And she stand up. I'm like, y'all, because what happened, Santana, I was leaving the bank to take this job, and she is the one that actually told me, because I was a little scared, because I'm like, man, this is a completely different field. And she told me, I feel like you can do whatever you put your heart and mind to. Mm-hmm. And so when I had her to stand up, I'm like, y'all, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even been here. Like, to take a job like this and everybody in this room know how great she is. So by this time, I'm just talking about her and all the stuff she did. And I asked her to come up, and, she's standing there with me. And I told you, I'm like, babe, I really appreciate you. And, I don't want to live another day without you. And I got on my knees, and she just broke down. And
totally surprised.
And then when she got up, she was completely surprised. So when she got up, that's when I released to her, this was all a setup for you.
Yeah. And
she was like, I think that the element of surprise was even greater because she didn't think I would ask. Like, she just not, especially not at that time. Like, she just, it was completely unexpected. And then for her to be putting in all this energy and then only to find out that all of this really was for you. Yeah. But I felt like that's the only way I could get her to
surprised.
Yeah, to be caught off guard. Because other than that, it wouldn't.
She's sharp. She would have figured it out.
Yeah, she would have. All y'all would have. Because y'all are just too, y'all are like some undercover agents or some detectives. When it comes down to stuff like that, you start noticing everything. So, but that was the surprise. And I got engaged to her, I think we got married in like 5 months. We got married. And they wouldn't have took me that long. I wanted to get married quick, but also I wanted to give her a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted her to have the opportunity to see that I chose her in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the whole element of like family and friends being there, that was like off the table for me. I did not want a crowd. So Justin had to work with that element and his surprise, if you will.
So Bethany, what our first date was at Old Venice.
Officially. Pollywogs, we like just hung out, but Justin like later asked me to.
Great pizza place back in the day.
Yeah. Italian place.
And so I had just recently went to get the ring with our FCA director.
Not after the first date.
No. We're speeding
way
up.
past
I'm
that.
trying to get back to the story. And the plan was to go back to Old Venice.
Right.
And then I was going to take you to the baseball field and propose on the baseball field. Real original, like nobody's ever done that before. But that night, I think it kind of got out like somebody.
Well, no, this was in between.
You're going to probably know the story better than me.
Well, I'm just saying.
In some ways.
No, you could tell it. But the thing that happened behind the scenes was what you were talking about, like that intuition. Something about like
I think Elna spilled the beans a little bit.
No, she didn't.
Andy got a little feel for it.
No, so what happened was that I told Elna, who was my roommate at the time, and her boyfriend was Andy, who was on the baseball team with Justin. We've talked about them before. So like Elna was hearing me talk about how I was like, I think Justin might propose because we haven't been to Old Venice in like a long time. And like, that's where we had our first date. Like I was like putting these pieces together. So she takes that information and tells Andy, who then tells Justin, or maybe she just straight told Justin. I don't know.
No, Andy.
So it like
I got to go back and remember.
Made its way to Justin.
Yeah.
So now he's like, this is what he tells me, y'all. He says, hey, I've just changed my mind. I just went with a teammate or a friend, I don't know, to Old Venice the other night, so I think we should go somewhere else. I was ticked. I was like, why would you go when you already told me that's where we were going?
Yeah.
I was so mad. Can you believe he did that to me? Look at this. Look at how I'm being validated in so many ways. Thank you.
Well, I'm with him, though.
Let me tick her off and then put a ring on her finger. It's a great combo.
Yeah. So then I'm like, I really am like pretty ticked because I'm thinking, but like my logic is you knew we were going there. Mm-hmm. So why would then you go there with a team knowing you're about to take me there? I mean, obviously.
It was like I got invited to go and that just happened to be the place we ate. Okay. It's not.
Well, anyways.
It wasn't like I said, we're going to go here.
No, but I thought you fabricated the story anyways.
Maybe I did.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
like I don't know that you actually went, but the point was he was changing the location on me on purpose to throw me off. So he still took me to Harvey's, which was like super nice. And this is like a super random detail, but I had borrowed a crock pot from one of the FCA directors at the time or staff, Whitney Mathis, and was like, this is how I'm using this. I'm inserting this detail because this is how much I had backed off of thinking this was like a special night is when he picked me up. I was like, hey, after Harvey's, like her house is right down the road. Can we like take this crock pot back to her? And he's like, okay. Like, but he had plans to like take me to the field and stuff. But like, that's how much I was like, he's totally just like, doesn't even care about this.
So you weren't doing that on purpose? Like you weren't trying to throw him off on purpose?
No, I was just like, well, we're just having a normal night.
Right.
Like, might as well run this errand.
Just another normal night with Justin.
Wow.
So we go to Harvey's and I just remember.
My normal fiance.
I just remember being like so short with him that night. Like at Harvey's at dinner.
You was that mad?
I was that mad. Because it was just like, why did you not think, I don't know, because I had built it up to be like, this is a special thing. Like this is about to be, and then he was so just like, no big deal about the change. Yes, that I was like,
she built it up.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything.
Exactly. You know what? And I'm glad that I'm glad he's making this point. See, you know what? This 2-on-2 is helping us right now.
Yeah. This is
because this is the reason. That's why I say sometimes that intuition is your biggest enemy. Because I'm saying
just let it happen.
No, because it's like you got this big idea in your head that we have no clue about.
Which is true most of the time.
Right, which is true most of the time. And so we're moving, and it's tough sometimes because even if we're trying to do something special,
yeah, Oh, we can screw it up.
Look, and then now, and this is the thing, and then it's almost like a domino effect, because it's like, not only are we bothered by the situation, but we're also bothered that we know we didn't do anything, and you are making us the villain. It's like, I literally did nothing.
It's going to be great for when we get into the best marriage advice.
Yeah, man, we've already covered that. Mm-hmm. So now you can take the story. We dropped the crock pot off, and then you want to go to the field.
Yeah, I just want to go walk on the field. It's nice to go walk
and
on
I
the baseball
probably was
field.
like, sure.
The lights were on because basketball was playing. Yeah. Basketball was playing that night. And so they have those lights on so people can see in the parking area and everything towards the hump.
Yeah.
And that was when they had the bridge. Okay, at this time, they had the bridge connecting the hump to the baseball field.
Okay.
All right. And so some people, it was halftime. We started walking around, and I noticed some people were coming across the bridge. I was like, oh, it's halftime to the game.
Because apparently they can, if they have suites over there, they can go into their suite and they would like watch other games.
Got you.
Hang out, all right? And then they can cross back over. And so in that, I'm like, crap, there's people.
Because he knew I didn't want anybody around.
Yeah, well, I didn't really want anybody around either, And I'm like, shoot, I'm about to do this.
But now we have an audience.
Halftime over yet, And so Bethany's like getting cold. She's like, I'm getting cold. And I'm like, crap.
I'm like, can we leave? I need to go to the bathroom.
I'm like, oh, gosh. So, okay, so we moseyed on back over. Let's go back this direction. And then I think I got her looking somewhere. I got you looking.
You got up on the mound and were like showing me how you pitch or something. And then you had me turn that way and maybe showing me, I don't know. And so you had me facing home plate. And then you were behind me maybe talking to me.
Yeah. And then that thing that was burning a hole in my pocket came out.
And you said something. I wish I could remember because I was like, what? Like, I was not. And then you were like, well, turn around. And because I wasn't turning around, but I don't remember what you said to cue me that would have made me turn around. And then when I did, he was on his knee and had the ring.
And then how did it make you feel? Well, go ahead, Justin.
Well, then the people that were up in the stands, that were up over there by the bridge, were like, it's about time. And I'm like,
we've been waiting all
night. And I'm like, who are these people?
Did you know them?
No, I don't think so. I didn't really look up there either a whole lot.
Gotcha.
I might have. But.
So how did you feel, Bethany, after you turned around and saw him
what he was
on
doing.
his knees, knowing you've been short, knowing you've had an attitude? I want to know how you felt. That's what I want to know. How did you feel?
I'm innocent.
Okay, I was excited because that was what I thought he was going to do that night. And so
I was right.
Exactly.
I validated in being right. You're gone now.
Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
Even when I'm wrong. So I was right after all. No, I did feel bad for being short. I do remember that. Not in the moment, but afterwards, I was just like, man, I even had to run this crock pot to a friend.
So let me ask you this. Did you apologize?
I don't know.
No,
you don't remember.
Because I didn't know she was mad. I couldn't even tell she was being short with me. That just shows you how aware I am. What a whiff. I was just thinking, I got to get this thing out of my pocket. We got to get this done.
Wow.
Yeah, I did feel bad. I could tell, though, that when I remembered through things, I was like, he must have been sweating bullets when, those people came. There was a lot of unexpected things. Me asking, can we go do this? And he's thinking those lights are only going to be on for a certain amount of time. I did, when I started rehashing the night, I was like, oh, man, that was probably pretty stressful for
And
Justin.
It was too big. Yeah. So she has Rayleigh fingers, and I missed that.
Yeah, I think that he ordered a 6, and my finger's like a 4.5.
So she had to put it on her middle finger, so she was showing people with their middle finger.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, we got it resized, and
so
it's all.
happy
I do
she's
think it's
flipping
so
everybody
funny
off.
to after you're engaged, to just think back on all that they had to do to plan that.
I know.
And the stress that they, not that that's funny, but just
funny.
Yeah, just
and the money saved.
just seeing how they executed it is so funny.
It was really sweet. Justin
Putting back a lot of meal money.
He put a lot of meal money back from getting stipends or not stipends, but meal money.
Postseason
postseason.
trips, yeah.
He would put it to the side, and then his summer jobs put it to the side so that he could purchase my ring. Very sweet.
I took my money from because when I changed jobs, I took the 401k pension that I had been building up. I knew I couldn't do anything with it, so I just took it out, and the money that I was able to get from it, I was able to purchase her. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I got her the engagement and the wedding ring all at the same.
Yeah,
all at the same time. I think I got it all at the same
Probably
time.
got a deal.
I did, and then especially, I don't know what. Now I'm gonna say this. I don't know if y'all have done it. I don't know how it was for you, but when I told them I was getting an engagement ring to get married, it's like the people working behind get excited.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes they try to help you out. Like, and not bad advice. It's like, well, I know you're looking at this, but you may want to look at this. Like, this is close in price range and this is better. It's going to last. Like, you know, that type of stuff. And so I had a lot of favor from God because God knew I didn't know what I was doing. I'm telling y'all, I was literally just like talking to y'all. I'm getting a ring. I went to the place was closed. I was up there. I think I might have been the first person the next day.
The next day, you were ready.
Yeah, I was determined.
Well, when Justin went to the guy he went to, before he went, he called my sister, and I'm one of 4 girls, and I'm third. So I had 2 older sisters that could have definitely. I mean, they could have gotten married before me. But I ended up being the first one of us to get married, and so he called my sister Leah and was like asking about a ring, and Leah's like, oh, I don't know. Like, he didn't say wedding ring or anything. He just was like, what kind of ring would Bethany like, whatever. And then hung up. She didn't really give him anything. And then she calls him back and is like, wait a second, are you talking about an engagement ring? Like, she didn't even, didn't even
actually
click.
Fooled Leah.
Yeah. And I never really grew up talking about that. So Justin did a great job picking out, a ring for me, and then the guy helped
one
him a
for
lot.
the guys, 2 for the guys, just me and you. We did great.
Yeah.
And
Jacob.
Come on, Jacob.
Yeah,
he did.
We rooting for
He
you.
did good.
Hey y'all, it's Bethany. That might have ended a bit abruptly, and that's because we had such a good conversation with Mary Ashley and went into different topics we didn't even prepare for that we really needed to split this episode up into a part 1 and part 2. So thanks so much for listening today, but make sure to come back to hear the end of the conversation next week. Thanks for listening to the Created to Be podcast. To learn more about FCA at Mississippi State, visit www.msufca.org and follow us on Instagram at HailStateFCA_. If you would like to become a financial partner, visit www.fca.org/donate to sow into the work God is doing through FCA at Mississippi State.